Max, and I like to drink coffee. The MaxBang is a half-hour hangout with some smooth radio voice, so grab a cup of coffee and how's your mother? Today we are drinking Trader Joe's French press ground up coffee. Brittany went to Trader Joe's the other day. She does some damage. Does a little bit of damage. First and foremost, go ahead and like this video. If you're eating something, comment below what you're eating. If you want to write an additional comment after that, that's fine, but just go ahead and comment what you're eating. If you're driving, keep your eyes on the road. If you're running, you got this. You got this, buddy. Fucking treadmill's unbelievable. Brittany went to Trader Joe's. She likes to plan out meals and then go shopping after that, grocery shopping after that. I have sort of a checklist of things that I always get from the grocery store. It's really weird. Two sort of completely polar opposite approaches to grocery shopping. I also have tried, I've done this before and I'm not proud of it, but I do it every once in a while, and I always sort of hit the same stumbling block, which is that I ordered a bunch of those pre-made fitness meals. They're TV dinners. Let's not kid ourselves. They are TV dinners. They're in little trays. You poke the film with a knife and you microwave it for 2 minutes, and that's your dinner. It's 100% a TV dinner. It's gross. Every so often, I see an ad on Instagram, and I fall victim to, or one of my friends tells me about how he started a new. It's a meal prep service. Meaning they just cook you a bunch of meals and they sit in your fridge, and whenever you're hungry, you grab one and make one. I have mixed feelings on this. Number one, I like to eat. I'm not a psycho. Everybody likes to eat. Number two, I am not someone that has a lot of self-restraint. I had self-restraint for many, many years because of wrestling. I had to watch my diet. I will say the other end of that sort is I decided never to actually diet again because I dieted for 8 years and I hated it and blah, blah, blah. That being said, I didn't exactly have a taste for desserts because I stopped eating them for so long. I didn't like a lot of sweet stuff. I much preferred like a salty dessert to a sweet. Quarantine life, COVID life has since changed that. Now I will put down some ice cream, bunch of cookies, whatever, some whipped cream. But my diet has always been like, just don't be a fucking slug. Don't look and or feel like a slug. That's the goal of my Max's diet. Traditionally, whenever I've felt a little blah, I have just completely shut it down and had salad with a chicken breast, lunch and dinner every day for as many days in a row as I could handle it. And I felt like that was a nice reset. The problem these days is that, eating is one of the only pleasures we have now, like COVID life, quarantine life. I sit at home and I just eat. Like, that's a fun thing to do. Or it was certainly a fun thing to fall into. So now I've felt a little blah, felt a little slow, like soft, puggish, sluggish, whatever you want to call it. So I thought, oh, perfect. I'll just order a bunch of these pre-made meal prep meals. Meal prep meaning bodybuilder style. We count our macros and we figure out we get into ketogenesis or whatever. And on the one hand, it's so stupid. I shouldn't be ordering these meals. I can make my own food. That's pretty simple. There's not a lot of vegetables in these meals anyway, because you can't really microwave vegetables that well. Or if you do, it's like soggy broccoli or whatever. On the other hand, it is nice to have meals set up ready to go in the fridge for a couple of reasons. One, it's super easy. Two, I don't have to worry about what are we doing for dinner? What are we doing for lunch? Do we need to get grocery store ingredients? Do we need to get, am I ordering something? Blah, blah, blah. Two, the portion size is actually really important. I find that them portioning out a lunch for me is nice, especially since it's about half or three-quarters the size of the lunch that I would eat. I've stopped snacking because I now have the mental ability. No, what am I trying to say? I now have, like, when I'm rationalizing it to myself, I have the mental high ground to be like, look, you have rationed out lunch and dinner. You're not going to go hungry. You're not just snacking because you haven't had lunch and you're too lazy to, like, go get something. So in that sense, it is very nice. I can argue with myself from a stronger position. I have the high ground. Um, are these meals very healthy? I'm not sure, actually. It's a lot of meat, it's a lot of cheese. I think they're all sort of supposed to be keto. I'm not exactly going into ketosis, so I'm not sure of, like, how valuable that is for me. I think, to be honest with you, the best thing I could do is just to have a bunch of salad ingredients in the fridge and, eat much, much more green vegetables than I than I normally do. Um, but these things are nice to have. Another thing that I think about a lot, which is something that I think it was lost on me for a while, it still is, but I sort of find it every once in a while, is decision fatigue. Are you familiar with this? Interesting. Okay. Decision fatigue is, I'm pretty sure it's proven, but if not, it's certainly anecdotal and it definitely applies to me. So take it with a grain of salt, but not that much because it's pretty common. Decision fatigue is the concept that you only have enough energy in the day, mental capacity in the day to make X number of decisions. Obviously, it changes person to person. Some people, I'm sure presidents of countries make a fuck ton of decisions. But the concept is that if you can get rid of, any decision you can cut out in your day at all, no matter the severity or the importance, then you can apply that mental capacity to another decision. So, for example, Steve Jobs very famously wore the exact same thing every single day once he got to some point in his life where that was socially acceptable because he was so rich, I'm sure. And he credited that to the idea that he has to make so many decisions every day. He doesn't want to waste any brain space, brain matter, brain power on looking cool. So he wore his white Asics jeans and a turtleneck every single day, and that was cool because he's Steve Jobs. Significantly less cool when I wear my white sneakers, jeans, and his turtleneck with the sleeves cut off, obviously. But the idea, it's interesting. It's like a lot of those things where you hear it and you're like, is that real or is that... Let me just look up decision fatigue, make sure I'm giving you guys the right runaround. You like think, is that real or is that mumbo jumbo pseudoscience? And then you sort of start, at least what I do is I started, like, applying it to my life a little bit. And then after, sometimes it is like, dude, whatever, that's ridiculous. And sometimes I'm like, I guess that does apply to me a little bit. In decision-making and psychology, decision fatigue refers to the deteriorating quality of decisions made by an individual after a long session of decision-making. It is now understood as one of the causes of irrational trade-offs in decision-making. So, the more decisions you make in a day, for example, your ability to make a smart choice, the quality of your decision, at the end of the day is going to be way worse than the beginning of the day. Isn't that interesting? I wonder, yeah. I mean, I try it, and it seems to apply to me for sure. So I can only imagine it applies to a lot of people. Another offshoot of that, while we're on this subject, is when I know that there's something very, very popular. And this is sort of a total 180 about what I used to do. But I know nowadays when I know something is very, very popular, I almost always give it more than the benefit of the doubt. Perfect example is Harry Potter. When I was a young warthog, when he was a young warthog. I can't hit that note, but I always want to. I'm up here and you're down here. And I'm up here and you're down here. When I was a young warthog, I didn't like Harry Potter. I thought it was stupid. Didn't like a lot of things. I liked the things I liked. I liked my Spider-Man. I liked my superheroes. I liked my NFL football. I didn't like Harry Potter. I didn't like Lord of the Rings. There's some things I liked and some things I definitely didn't. And the things I didn't like, I thought they were stupid, and I thought anyone who liked them was stupid. And I thought that if they liked them, if a person I met liked something like Harry Potter, I thought that person was then dumb. I have since done a complete 180 on that. There are certain subject matter fandoms, for lack of a better word. That's how I think of it. There are certain fandoms that once it hits a critical mass, meaning, they've made 6 movies about it, I guess. If there's like enough people that are really, really into it, I feel stupid if I don't at least give it a chance. Do you know what I mean? So like if enough people like Harry Potter, I no longer, and I don't get it or whatever, I no longer think Harry Potter's stupid. And I no longer think the people that like Harry Potter are stupid. Now I think, man, so many people fucking like this. There must be something in here that I could also like, or that I could find likable about it. And before you know it, I really tend to like a lot of the things that are there, that exist there. I have the same feeling on large universities. Obviously, it's a different story because people are living there. It's a geographical thing. It's a personal thing. What type of people they're letting in. But when people come to me and they're like, I remember in college they'd be like, "Yeah, man, I go to Boston College, or I go to Northeastern University, and everybody there sucks." And I'm like, everybody at Northeastern sucks? They have like 40,000 undergrad. You're telling me you can't find one fucking person in 40,000 tries that you like, kind of think is cool, that you like, that you have some common ground with? You're seriously telling me you're 0 for 40,000? I think there sometimes numbers are so big that I'm like, really, dude, really? Do you really not know what's going on? Or are you just being an asshole? So glad you guys. Hope you guys had a great week. My week was blah. Today, Brittany forgot that she was supposed to have lunch with her friend because she didn't realize today was Friday. She thought today was Thursday. Initially, I was like, haha, turn my nose up at her. But I realized I am doing the same exact thing. COVID days now, quarantine days, lockdown days, whatever the hell you want to call them. Everything's just blending together and it's making me crazy. How the hell is it October? It was just March. So this has been the worst, fastest, crappiest year of all time. I had a couple of questions that I wanted to get answered. First of all, if you have any deep, introspectful, or disrespectful questions, anything you want to ask, leave them in the comments below. If you are scared because it's such a personal question, you can go ahead and email me if you want. I'll give you my secret email address, mnstcb@gmail.com, mnstcb@gmail.com. Stands for MaxNoSleeves, taking care of business @gmail.com. Ooh, that coffee's good. Trader Joe's. Can't go wrong. Anyway, if you have a personal question you want to ask me, for example, for some reason don't want me to read your name on the MaxBang, that's probably a good pick. I did get a personal question this week. That's kind of why I wanted to say that. Let's do a couple of questions from the last episode. This one's actually been sitting around for a minute. What is the best amusement park you've been to? What's your best story from going to an amusement park? Well, click. You just said a mouthful, because I did not like amusement parks growing up. I fucking hated them. I used to get really car sick. I used to get really seasick, then car sick, then air sick, then whatever, motion sick. Didn't like motion. Call me crazy. So obviously you can imagine that I wouldn't really be super pumped to get on a roller coaster. So, yeah, wasn't a huge fan of amusement parks. We had a carnival that came to our town every fall or whatever. That was really fun to play the carnival games. I could do that roller coaster because it was tiny. It was also actually kind of terrifying because it was rickety, and I could see the people that had set it up, and they didn't strike me as the architect, general contractor type guy. They were more of like a, IKEA screwdriver type person like me. I like me, but would I trust me to build a roller coaster that I would then ride? No, obviously not. So I wasn't. So as much as I liked the small town carnival, I also was a little scared of it. We went to a couple of ones. I've been to Six Flags in Orlando and in Anaheim. I've been to Disney World, Disneyland. I love Disney World, Disneyland. I mean, I like Disney. I love Disney stuff. I'm a human being. I remember once very specifically, we were in Orlando Disney World. And, oh man, my brother, who is younger and taller than me, as much as I hate roller coasters, he loves them, loves roller coasters. So we'd go to Disney World, Disneyland, whatever, Six Flags. What a country, have some fun, We'd go to Disneyland, Disney World, Disney. We go to Disney, and my brother would want to ride Space Mountain over and over and over and over and over and over again. And my poor dad, would just go, we'd all go on one, except for me. I'd pussy out. And then my mom would be like, all right, I'm done. I'll chill with Max. And then my dad and my brother would go. And then my brother would be like, yeah, let's do that again. And then again, and then again, and then again. And so I'd sort of sit there at the bottom of the mountain, and my poor brother would just be zipping around that roller coaster. Was tough. I did go on Splash Mountain once, and I absolutely hated it. I went with my dad, and if you're not familiar with Splash Mountain, it's essentially just one huge roller coaster that goes up and up and up and up and up. And then at the very end, it goes one huge dive down into some water. Big splash, Splash Mountain. There you are. And as we kept going up, my anxiety mirrored the roller coaster, the cart, whatever the fuck we were sitting in. My anxiety went up and up and up and up until the point where I really had a minor panic attack. And I said, Dad, can I get off this roller coaster? I am really freaking out. And he sort of gave me a look like, are you fucking kidding me? And then it was sort of like, well, yeah, Max is freaked out. Okay, let's see. How can we get off this thing? And then I looked around and I realized that I would have to mess up literally everyone's day. I'd have to mess up my dad's day, my own day, everybody else on the roller coaster that ride. They'd have to pull an emergency brake or whatever to let me off the thing. And really that would just be so fucked up to everybody else there that I was like, fuck it, let's just go. And I sat there and I just had anxiety bubbling in my stomach. I thought I was going to blow up, burst out like the alien from Aliens, an alien. And I just sat there and I literally just swallowed my anxiety for an extra 10 minutes or whatever, 10 horrifying, terrifying minutes. And they would be shooed all the way down. And it wasn't that bad. Obviously, it wasn't that bad. And it was over in 2 seconds. Obviously, it's a roller coaster. And I was like, wow, that was cool. No big deal. And then my dad was like, oh, really? That's great. I'm glad you got through it. No, do you want to do it again? I was like, no, never. Absolutely never. When I got bigger, physically bigger, my ability to handle motion significantly improved. I still get seasick. Boats are just something I don't think I'm ever going to be able to do. But I don't get car sick that bad. I don't get air sick anymore. I can do roller coasters now. I've been to a couple events, and I feel terrible because I've been to this event, and they literally closed Universal Studios for us and gave us free reign to do all of the shit that we wanted to do. 0 lines. We just ran around.
Universal Studios.
And I remember specifically thinking, like, this is amazing. It's so cool that I'm here. I'm so lucky. It really sucks that it's wasted on me. Because I really don't love roller coasters. And they're giving me free reign to run around Six Flags with no lines, whatever, do whatever the fuck I want. Whatever. It wasn't totally wasted. The rides where there's holograms and shit, I think those are pretty cool. Even though they make me real sick. I did this. The Simpsons, they have, I like the ones, I like and I don't. I like and I don't like the ones where you're in a mechanical seat and you actually don't move, but the seat itself like shakes the shit out of you. And there's a huge domed like screen all the way around you. And like as your seat shakes, the screen goes with it. Most famously, the Simpsons ride. I know there's a bunch of Star Wars rides like that. When we were in Orlando, we did an Avatar ride that was just like that. That was the coolest version of that I've ever seen. I actually really like those because you're getting the shit shaken out of you, and it looks really cool. But if at any time you feel a little blah, you could just sort of like look at your shoes, and then you like center yourself. You find your center of gravity again. I really like that. We did the Avatar ride in Orlando, and we're in line. And I'm like, this is stupid. Why am I? And they post the wait times. And so the wait time is 40 minutes or whatever for a 6-minute ride. Kill myself. Anyway, the wait times get up to 3+ hours. So I don't know why I'm complaining. But anyway, so we're in line. And I'm a little nervous because I always am. But it's whatever. And the people in front of us are like, oh, have you ever done this before? This is years ago. And I'm like, no, I've never tried it. But I heard it's cool and whatever. And they were like, this is an Avatar, 3D screen shake your shit ride at Universal, I think, or Universal Studios. That's what the last one was. And they go, it's pretty cool. No, it's not pretty cool. The Avatar ride is the coolest ride you'll ever be on. And as a rule, when someone says something like that, I automatically, my knee-jerk gut reaction is to be like, really? Life-changing? A fucking roller coaster? The best ride I've ever been on? Really? That's just who I am, Sorry, go fuck yourself. I'm from a place where anybody says something like that, my knee-jerk, and everyone I grew up with, their knee-jerk is to be like, really, dude? That's the best ice cream you've ever had? Really? That's the hardest test you've ever... You know what I mean? So yeah, when they were like, yeah, the Avatar ride is the coolest ride you've ever been on, I'm like, really? And goddamn, if it wasn't the best ride I've ever been on. I mean, it was amazing. You're on a bike, so you're facing forward and you're sitting on looks like a motorcycle, because you're straddling the thing, and you're zooming down. You're flying on the back of not a pterodactyl, but whatever the Avatar pterodactyl was, and it was the best ride I've ever been on. Life-changing? I don't know, probably. Another cool thing, one of the only other cool amusement park experiences I've ever been on, and this is a little bit of a brag, so sorry, but at Universal Studios, I think everywhere. Is Universal everywhere? I don't know. Whatever. There's an amusement park in LA called Universal Studios. And every Halloween, they do something called Halloween Horror Nights, which is where you go to the amusement park at night, and they have a bunch of people dressed up as zombies and axe murderers and chainsaw killers and all this stuff. And then they have another additional like haunted houses and additional like rides that they've fit out to match like The Walking Dead or zombies or vampires or werewolves or whatever, something scary. So I think I was in Florida, Orlando Universal Studios, and we're at their version of Halloween Horror Nights, and I am just hammered drunk, so I am fucking freaking out. I've been on a couple of rides that I hated. My friends loved roller coasters, so they dragged me on every single one, and I'm just there like having a panic attack. hammer drunk because I thought that would calm my nerves. Spoilers, it did not. And I walked down like the wrong. I ditched my friends because I'm like, look, I don't want to do any more roller coasters. I'm sorry. Just like, let me just walk around and chill for Christ's sake. And I walk around. I'm going down the wrong alley. Obviously, I'm not. It's not. It's scary, but it's not dangerous because I'm in Universal Studios. But it's scary. And like a group of people was walking towards me, and then before I know it, like they all pull out chainsaws, and they're actors or whatever. This is part of the experience, but I didn't even like put that together. For some reason, I was just lost. And they were like, and then they like chased me with chainsaws, and I'm like, oh my God. And I like take a turn and I run, and they sort of encircle me. This is freaking me out. Obviously it's fake, but it's freaking me out. And then anyway, the person closest, the chainsaw holder closest to me, goes and then like jams the chainsaw into my face like real close, and then at the last second stops, and she goes, MaxNoSleeves? Oh my God. I mean, talk about going from like absolute utter horror, terror to like I'm gonna die, like this is it. Like I'm drunk, so my reasoning is a little off a little bit, but go from like absolute this is the end of my story to like screech, record scratch, to like, oh hey, yeah, what's up? Yeah, I guess so. That's one of the. A lot of people ask me like if I get recognized or not. That's one of the good versions of me getting recognized in public. Oh, golly, that was what a night that was. I immediately after that I like calmed down. I went and got one of those giant legs of lamb, turkey legs. I'm just like walking around with like a slushie and a turkey leg. I'm like I felt like I had 15 heart attacks in like 2 seconds. Oh my God, that was fun. That was a fun night, sort of. We also did that roller coaster. Oh my God, it's so scary. We did that one roller coaster where you see it from afar and you're like, that thing? That's a roller coaster? My God. And the ones I figured out what happens is, as much as I said the hologram ones are easier for me to handle. That's nice because you can like look down and your body isn't actually moving as much. I mean, like it's not shooting up and down 100 feet in the air. At the same time, you're like in an enclosed space. It's a lot of people's like breath and stink and body, and it's like too warm. The one roller coaster I really liked that was really sort of scary was it was outdoors, and we were sort of shooting around 100 feet above the Universal. So in that sense, it was really nice. It was fresh air. You felt pretty good. But there was the one that we went on, this one roller coaster, and you get in and it doesn't even stop. You like have to run into your seat and sit down as the thing's moving. It's like you're running on one of those moving sidewalks in the airport. And you run in, you sit down, you strap in, and then somebody runs around and like shakes your seatbelt or whatever, make sure you're not going to fly out. Knock on wood. How many times do you think it actually happens? One too many, I would imagine. Anyway, so they strap you in, and as the roller coaster starts, it sort of starts to go up, and it goes up and up and up, steeper and steeper, until it's literally, your back is facing the ground, your chest is facing the sky, and your feet are sort of parallel to the ground, and you're just looking up, and your whole weight like shifts back in the chair, and you're like, ugh, this is gonna be bad. And then it just keeps cranking you up and up and up and up into that night sky, and I had these panic attacks. Like, yeah, this is a death now. I guess this is how I die. And then you get to the top, and you just shoot all the way around. And I will say that the night air, the fresh air, makes a huge difference, and it's nice. I get the appeal. I wish I liked it more, but I get the appeal. Anyway, I think that's probably going to do it for this episode of the MaxBang. I know I wanted to talk about some serious stuff, but it ended up being an amusement park horror story. But that's okay, because that was really fun. I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you guys have a nice weekend to unwind. If you have any plans, let me know in the comments below. Your homework is to tell somebody about this channel, get them to subscribe. But other than that, keep banging.